All right, so today we're really diving deep into The Internal Black Star by J.Juliana. And right off the bat, I got to say, the title sounds a little, I don't know, like a prog rock album or something. But trust me, this book is all about personal transformation. And the really interesting thing is that it all revolves around this idea of marriage.
Yeah, marriage. Definitely not the first word that pops to mind when you think self-help.
Right. Like, I'm picturing, like, wedding cakes and awkward speeches, but Juliana's talking about something way different.
Totally different. He's talking about an internal marriage between your conscious and unconscious minds.
Okay, so already we're in, like, deep mind-bending territory here. And then Juliana starts using phrases like, I don't know, bottomless ground and primitive fertilization. It's like he's speaking in riddles. So what's he actually getting at with this whole internal marriage thing?
So at its core, Juliana's really getting at the heart of self-development here. He believes that it's this union, this internal marriage between your conscious mind, the part of you that's making decisions and setting goals and all that, and your unconscious mind, that deeper well of, instincts and creativity. That's the key to really unlocking your potential.
So it's like these two parts of ourselves, they need to be in sync, like they need to be working together to really make things happen.
Exactly. Yeah. Think about a time you had like a gut feeling about something. That's your unconscious mind right there trying to communicate with you. Juliana is saying that if we can learn to really listen to those whispers and then consciously work with them, that's where the real magic happens.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we actually do that?
Why?
Like, how do we get these two sides, as conscious and unconscious, to, like, and actually say, I do?
Well, Juliana breaks it down into a few key elements. Chaos, beauty, and structure.
Okay.
And I know, you're probably thinking those don't exactly sound like the ingredients for a happy marriage.
No, not really.
But stick with me here.
Okay, all right. Chaos, beauty, structure definitely piqued my interest. So let's unpack this a little bit. What's the deal with chaos?
So chaos in this context is not necessarily a bad thing. Juliana sees it as the raw material of your potential. Like, it's that vast pool of possibilities that's within every single one of us. Imagine like a potter with a lump of clay.
Okay.
It's formless, it's undefined, but it's full of potential. But it needs shaping.
Okay, I'm with you. So if chaos is like this formless clay, what about beauty? Where does beauty fit into this whole picture?
Think of beauty as the desired outcome. Like, it's that masterpiece you want to create. It's the realization of your potential, the manifestation of your desires. That's beauty.
So we're taking this raw, chaotic potential and shaping it into something beautiful, something meaningful through structure.
Exactly. Structure is that bridge. It's the bridge between chaos and beauty. It's the conscious effort, the willpower, the strategies that we use to channel all that raw potential into something tangible, something real. Think of a sculptor taking that lump of clay and, with skill and intention, molding it into this beautiful sculpture. That's structure at play.
I like that analogy. It definitely makes this whole concept feel a little less abstract, a little more actionable.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got chaos is the potential, beauty is the goal, structure is the path to get there. But there's this other piece of the puzzle that Juliana keeps mentioning, this black cube. And to be honest, that one's got me a little lost.
Right, the black cube. It's definitely one of Juliana's more evocative metaphors, and it's central to understanding this whole idea of internal marriage.
Yeah.
He uses it to represent the unconscious mind itself.
So the black cube is like this mysterious, powerful force within us that we need to tap into.
Exactly. Think of it like this. The black cube represents the formless, limitless nature of your unconscious. It's full of this untapped potential, like a vast, uncharted territory within you.
Okay, so this black cube as this unconscious, it's kind of freaking me out a little bit, but in a good way, like realizing how much is in there, undiscovered, right? But how do we actually access that? It's not like we can just open a door and say, hey, unconscious, want to get hitched.
Right, not quite that easy. But Juliana does give us a roadmap, and that first step on that roadmap is getting really, really clear about our desires. He really stresses like identifying what we truly want. And he makes this distinction between what we truly want and what we think we should want.
Okay, so no more society says I need this kind of thing, but really digging deep down inside to what really resonates.
Exactly. Like tuning out all that outside noise and those expectations and really tapping into what your inner self is yearning for. And once we have a good picture of those desires, then Juliana says we need to visualize them, like really, really visualize them with as much detail as possible.
So not just a wish list, but like almost like we're making a movie trailer in our heads of our ideal life starring, us.
Yes, I love that analogy.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. He's saying by vividly imagining those desires, like as if they've already happened, we're sending this powerful message to our unconscious mind, right? It's like we're planting seeds.
So the unconscious is like the
Right.
fertile ground, and these visualized desires, those are the seeds we're planting.
Yes, precisely. But there's one more crucial ingredient here. Willpower. That's the stuff, that's the force that really propels those seeds to sprout, you know? The stronger our desire, the more potent our willpower is going to be. And then our unconscious can really work its magic.
This makes a lot of sense. But what about, those of us who, like, we struggle with self-doubt. You know that voice,
Yeah.
that inner voice that's like, this is never going to work, or you're not good enough. How do we quiet that voice down? How do we empower that internal marriage?
We're talking about that inner critic. And Juliana, he actually addresses that head on. He says that doubt, fear, insecurity, those are all forms of resistance, and they create friction in our internal marriage.
So how do we overcome that resistance?
Yeah.
How do we tell that inner critic to, like, take a hike and let us, get to work here, achieving our dreams?
So this is where Juliana's concept of rounding off comes in. He compares it to like the process a sculptor goes through when they're refining a piece. There's going to be rough edges. There's going to be imperfections that need to be chipped away, right?
So it's not about being perfect. It's about, like, persistence, right?
Exactly. It's about embracing the process, even when things get messy, even when that inner critic is being really loud. Juliana actually reminds us that discomfort, it's often a sign of growth.
So instead of being afraid of those moments of self-doubt, we can try to see them as opportunities, like a chance to learn and grow.
Yeah, it's like instead of running from the doubt, we like lean into it, right?
Yeah.
We use it to, like you said, round off those rough edges.
Exactly. It's like we're retraining our brains to see those challenges not as roadblocks, but as like stepping stones on the path. Totally. Yeah. And what's interesting? I feel like so often we approach this whole self-improvement thing with this idea that there's a finish line, right? Like, once I achieve this one thing, then I'll be happy. But Juliana's philosophy, it's so much more about the journey than the destination,
100%. It's about embracing this ongoing process of like becoming, continually refining those desires and deepening that connection, that marriage between our conscious and our unconscious minds.
It really strikes me that Juliana here, he's not just giving us a set of, like, techniques or exercises. He's offering this whole new way of seeing ourselves and our potential, right?
I think that's a great way to put it. There's this beautiful message that runs through all of the internal Black Star, and it's this. We all have this incredible creative power within us, this ability to shape our own realities.
It's like he's giving us permission to dream bigger, to step into the driver's seat of our own lives.
And not even just permission, but the tools, the understanding to actually do it, recognizing that we're not just like these passive recipients of whatever fate throws our way, but that we're active participants, that we're creating our own experiences.
So I don't know about you, but, like, wrapping up this deep dive, I'm really left with this feeling of, okay, what am I going to create? Like, if my mind is this internal workshop, what masterpiece am I going to bring to life?
That's the question, isn't it? And I think that's the beauty of Juliana's work. It gives us that framework, but it leaves the creative process up to us. It empowers each of us to go out and discover our own unique path to fulfillment.
I love that. Well said. It's been so fascinating exploring the world of the internal Black Star with you. And for everyone listening, we'd love to hear what resonates with you. What will you create in your own internal workshop? Until next time, happy exploring.